Okay, so I'm out here at Lost Dutchman State Park again, making my way up the Siphon Draw Trail. I'm not going all the way to the top, not even going to really where I really want to go today, or this morning anyways. I am going to head up and try to get a little bit of this morning light for a scouting trip. Not going to be out a whole long time this morning, but I'm planning on heading back out this afternoon. And there's some slick rock on the Siphon Draw Trail that I'm planning on trying to reach when the afternoon light is playing up there. So for now, I'm just going to hike up. Nice morning, a little cool, and with the, I didn't think I was going to get an early enough start, but with the way the light and the way the mountains block it, you get a pretty late sunrise. So we're just going to go up, play. It's a beautiful morning, and we'll see. Okay, so like I said, I started up what's called the Siphon Draw Trail, and it is the top of Flatiron. Super popular trail, difficult. I'd love to hike it, but I'm not sure I want to do it with a bunch of camera gear because I think the experience would be awesome, but not so sure the photos are great. But that's the part I started. Now I'm on another trail that crosses in front of the Superstitions here, and just outside the Lost Dutchman State Park. And I'm just sort of waiting to see what the morning light does here. Not sure it'll do a whole lot. There's not a cloud in the sky, but I'm gonna move up here a little bit, get set up, just see if there's some interesting light. So I am taking a different spur than normal. This is Prospector's View Trail. It's gonna meet up in quite a ways a trail I've already done out here. This morning may turn out just to be a walk with camera gear. Sometimes that's what happens. But as I'm going, as I'm thinking what would look good, this place is really much better, in my opinion, at sunset. And there's just a ton of cool things of the way the light plays on the cliff walls at sunset. But, you know, you want to find interesting foregrounds, interesting perspectives. That's one of the reasons I'm going to do the hike tonight. It's going to put me in a different spot than I've normally hiked up here, with hopefully some different views than what you might be getting tired of already. But I've sort of fallen in love with this particular area, partially because it's convenient for the reasons I come to Arizona, or the Phoenix area. It's super easy to get to, and that helps make things easy. So I'm going to hike up this trail a bit more, maybe set up camera to see if I can get something. And then, like I said, worst case, it's a morning hike with the camera gear. Warm the legs up for a hike this afternoon where I'll probably be out a lot longer. Mainly small scenes. This is a crowded trail. Trying to get a scenic without people in it, it's going to be tough. But I really want to see this slick rock area on the Siphon Draw Trail. I think I can use that 100 to 400, get some interesting photos, go from there. So I'm going to catch my breath, continue up this trail, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. Still working my way up Prospector's View Trail. I found some interesting pops of color up here in the ridges. There's like this little valley that's still in the shade, but there's these pops of yellow. I'm not sure if it's remnants of fall or what. It's sort of hard to tell from here, but I am going to take the opportunity to pop out the 100 to 400 to sort of shoot up into there, just see if there's something interesting there, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to set that up real quick, and then we'll see what happens. And this time I am going to take some of my own advice, and I'm not going to set the tripod yet because I'm not sure this shot is going to work, but we'll get the 100-400. We'll see if something's workable, and if so, and I think it warrants a tripod, we'll get that out. Sometimes it's just fun to handhold, especially on trips like this where I'm really just more scouting something out than anything. The primary goal today is to get out, just hike around, get the legs ready, and go from there. So we're just going to handhold this and see what happens. so the angle I'm at right now, I don't think is super amazing. Just well, not weighted correctly is what I'd call it. It feels not weighted right. But there's another set of this yellow stuff, yellow leaves and stuff up there, and it sort of like forks off this buttress. I don't know. I really should study up on some more of my geology stuff. But I think if I move a little further up the trail this way, I will be able to compose the shot just a little better and maybe get something to work. So I'm going to do that real quick because it's going to get in the sun real fast. I'm going to move real fast, and I'll catch you up after I get the shot. Okay, so I got the shot lined up here. I've got the two troughs coming down this buttress of rock there in the middle, a little bit of red flanking on either side. It's all in the shade. We'll see if the sun comes, if it helps or hurts. I'm going to take a few shots. I'm shooting a little wide. I shoot on a Z7 II, so I got room to crop in because I'm really sort of envisioning a 4:5 aspect ratio on this particular image because I don't really want a lot of skies. So I want to highlight this yellow bands coming down. So we'll see about that. So I'm going to sit here for just a little bit and try to line this shot up just a little better, compose it a little better, and see what we can get. Yeah, and we'll see what we get. They don't all work out, but hey. Okay, while I wait just to sort of see if the light lights up anything up here into this little valley. This is my first real video with the Pocket 3, trying it out for some of the vlogging style to see how it works, see how it goes. Breeze picked up a little bit, and I was using just the mics on the camera to see how they go. I've added the additional mic, so this may be a rough video, but I feel like for the vlogging series, sometimes things don't go 100% right, so they can be a little bit less polished. So I'm going to wait here just a couple moments longer. You can sort of see the sun sort of cresting up here on right on this edge, and what I'm hoping is that it's going to come up and just light this one side and just give it a little bit of light to reflect into this little valley to make those yellows pop. Not sure it's going to happen the way the sun is rising. These things are probably going to be in shade really well into the afternoon. I'm hoping to just catch a little bit of light off the wooden wall as the sun gets a little higher, reflect down into this and give it just a teeny bit of pop in the photo. And it may or may not work, but I'm going to wait here just a little bit longer. The sun's creeping up. You can see it coming up the valley floor here, and we'll see. But I don't think the light's going to play quite the way I wanted here. Like I said, it's pretty tucked in there, and it's just sort of skimming the top. So even I think as the sun rises, it's really not going to jump in there too much. May regret that. I'm going to keep hiking, and I'll keep an eye on that spot up there. I'm probably going to pass back through down this way because I was just going to do an out and back, but I think I'm going to do a loop. There's a site called Praying Hands up this way that I think I want to go visit. I haven't been there before. Again, I'm really just sort of hiking with camera gear, but you know, we'll see what the light does and how it goes. But I think I'm going to pack up here, move on up the trail, and keep moving on. And for those of you that watch my revisiting locations and why I think that's important, and yet here I am again at Lost Dutchman State Park. There's one of my recording spots over that way. Did a couple of the spots from there. So yeah, if you want to see that video, link down in the description. But it was revisiting locations. I talk about the 5 reasons I think revisiting locations is important to help improve your landscape photography. Starting to get crowded, lots of people heading up. We'll see if everyone's going up to Praying Hands, which is where I'm going to head up to now, and see how that goes. Beautiful scenery, great morning to be out, and yeah, we'll head on up. And just turned the corner for Praying Hands and this little spur trail. Actually, I think it's more than a spur trail, but I'm just going up for the Praying Hands. And I'll probably stop, have a snack, and make my way back down and maybe see how the light's doing, get some more photos on the way out and see how it goes and do that. So I think this trail is going to be a little steeper. Hopefully cut down a little bit of traffic, though I still see people on it up here. So I can be wrong about that. Again, weekend, popular, lots of stuff. So moving on. Well, so far seems to be the trail less traveled, which is good. Looks like most people took the loop down and aren't coming up the spur. Still a couple people on this trail, but much closer to my preferred environment, less people. Hiking gets just a touch tougher, which starts to put you in more interesting stuff. So we're gonna keep moving on up and see what we find up here. This is sort of it's a hiker, you like to cross things off the list. And seen this one on the map several times in my looking around here, and it would be cool just to get there and say I've been there. So on down the trail we go. So I think we'll stop here for just a quick drink, probably a quick snack. Got a couple peanut butter crackers. But yeah, this is much more you can see the main trail, people going down here, and it's going to be a highway later today, I'm sure. I think this will be a little more fun. I think I'm pretty close. I'll check the GPS here in a minute and see. Let's check it now. Yeah, I'm probably a little over a third, almost halfway up. Should be a little bit more rugged trail on the way up, which is good, fine with me. Way cooler than my last hike out here. For those of you, let's see, what did I call that video? It was the Peralta Trail. I forget what I titled the video, but it was super hot out here then. That was back in August. Crazy hot. Today it's cold. I'm actually got my down puffy. So on the cool side, I probably could have worn legs on my pants to stay a little bit warmer. Keep thinking the sun's going to hit, but I keep moving closer and closer to the shadow, so that doesn't happen. But way cooler today. So like I said, we'll get it praying hands. I'll take another look at GPS. I think what I'll do is end up coming back down and then cutting down back to the park entrance back that way, and probably get a few photos on the way down and check that out. Some of this rock does have some interesting textures and patterns on it, and we'll do that. So we're going to get a snack and call it good. Refill the water bottle while I'm here too. Whoops. Refill the water bottle. Find my snacks. Where did I put them? Ooh, beef stick. That seems more appropriate. Okay, swap around my water bottles and time to hike on up the trail and see if we can make it to Praying Hands. Now, I usually have pretty good trail sense, but this place is honeycombed with trails. Every time I think I'm on the right trail, it like cuts into something that's a little bigger. So I don't know. I'm not used to not being on the main trail. I'm usually, like I said, good at spotting it, but lots of little trails up here cutting back and forth. So up we go. Okay, so I reached Praying Hands. I'm in a little saddle between the two. This should be Praying Hands over here, and then another big rock formation over here. And maybe some of the best light I've seen on this, because we're starting to get some light filtering through. The sun's probably shining through the tops and casting some light. Definitely some rock formations I haven't seen before on previous trips with this side of the cliff walls and a couple of interesting peaks out there. The trail goes on this way, but I think I've got enough of a loop just to circle back down through one of the paths I've taken before. We'll see. We'll make the judgment call on that in a little bit. Okay, so I was looking at the GPS, and it looks like this trail might take me just an interesting little overlook if I'm reading the map right. Admittedly, I could be reading it wrong. So instead of sitting up right this second, I'm going to go ahead and move down this trail a little bit more just to see if this feature is sort of cool. It might give me a nice look, because right now, this rock sort of blocks some of the valley view. That might be a good route. So we're just going to go exploring and see what happens. Like I said, not a cloud in the sky, so the light isn't the most amazing. So some of gaining more information, what would look good, just seeing more of the general area is good. That's the glory about revisiting a location. There's a good chance I'll be back here yet again, and being more familiar with it will help me know where to go if I get great conditions, or if I'm able to reach a spot earlier in the morning or later in the evening. So I'm going to go ahead and hike down a little bit more and see if this little feature on the Gaia is interesting or not. Then we'll make a determination of what I'm doing. Okay, I ended up stopping. I got distracted. There was these cool little moss and lichens on this rock. There's obviously water that does flow through here sometimes, and there's just this nice patch of gold against the black that I stopped. I popped on the 24-120 to take some pictures of it, and I saw some other stuff over here. Let's see, I'm still technically in 2023. For those that follow our channel know small scenes is something I've been working to improve. I do think my eye and appreciation of small scenes is becoming greater and greater. In fact, today on this whole hike, I've only used the 100 to 400 and now the 24 to 120. So I think my appreciation is getting there. It's now, just because it's a small scene doesn't make it a good small scene. So working on seeing them and identifying the good small scenes, the ones that speak to me a little easier. So I did stop here. I keep getting distracted, but I got plenty of energy, though at some point I do want to do the longer hike this afternoon, and this is starting to turn into a longer hike. So at some point I have to make the decision to get back, because I need to rest up a little bit, get some food before I start off on the next one. Okay, I've done these, this little small scene stuff right here. I've done it in aperture priority mode. A lot of times when I'm hand holding, I'll switch over to aperture priority. It just moves quick. Then I have to use exposure compensation to adjust for brightness if I need something a little brighter, a little darker. But I find when I'm trying to move quickly, or I'm not setting up on a tripod, that I like aperture priority. If I need to switch into manual, I can, but like I said, aperture priority mode for these. Shooting at f8 on these, and that's because I'm trying to get a good depth of field. When you're coming in close on something like that and getting borderline that macro photography, your depth of field shrinks, and try to keep the aperture up high since I got plenty of light to work with. I did try to do a handheld focus stack. There was a little spot up here where there's two cool things on two varying layers. Try to do a handheld one. I don't do many of those, so we're going to see how that turns out. It could come out terribly, completely awful. But I am going to try a handheld focus stack. I use Helicon Focus for my focus stacking, and I think we'll see what happens. Normally I do my focus stacking off of a tripod, but again, I'm out hiking, scouting. I didn't really want to set up the full tripod. I'm recording with the Pocket 3 today because I'm trying to keep things moving, going without a ton of video gear getting in the way and stuff like that. So yeah, aperture priority, that's just sort of how I do these small scenes. And I should say that's how I tend to work when I'm shooting handheld, especially if I'm moving from creative composition to composition to composition. Average priority lets me sort of shift my head to focus more on what looks good and less on the camera settings, using exposure compensation from there. So again, I keep pausing, keep stopping, but I really need to get a little further. I still have that big hike later. So I'm going to pack up for real this time. May not even break out the video until we get to that spot, just to keep me disciplined. Unless I see something completely awesome to take a picture of. That could happen. So I'll see you down the trail. This had a little more elevation loss than I was thinking to get here, but it's one of those things where you get your head set on something and you start hiking and you're like, well, shoot. But yeah, I lost some elevation from where I wanted to be, but we're almost there. And that's where I was, over there in that saddle. The trail just took a big down. I guess it makes sense. There's a gully to get through. I'm just not sure why I didn't contour high. Oh, the cactus will get you, like jump at you. Don't like those. I've had one of those stuck in my boot before. Terrible to get off. Getting to the top, this is where I wanted to be. Up here, switch out of morning cold weather gear into desert gear. Starting to warm up. We're gonna sit up here, have a lunch or a snack. I didn't bring lunch. And figure out what exactly I'm doing. Let's get set up. Okay, I had a little bit of snack up here at this saddle. The light's pretty harsh. I did a couple photos. This little wall is sort of cool. I got a couple texture photos of it, and tried some stuff over here. Not so sure this is going to come out so great, but this was sort of neat and silhouetted. We'll see. And then I looked at the map and tried to figure out if I'm going to go back the way I came or loop this thing. And I think at this point, I'm going to loop this thing. I don't know, it's probably another 1.5 miles, 2 miles to go to get back to where I started from. I think I'm going to go this way. And not sure there'll be a whole lot to take pictures of. That means I sort of missed some stuff over here that I was going to catch on the way back. But I'm big on just learning the trails way around, like I said. So I think I'm going to head back that way. On the way out, just because I'm going to be in the sun most of the time, as you can see, I sort of switched into my desert wear. Long sleeve shirt, put the down jacket away. It's warming up. I'm probably going to focus on the hiking till I get down. We'll regroup, see how the hike down went. It looks like it could be a little steep down this way. So I'll give an update. And we'll see what time I get back, whether I have enough time to rest, get a good lunch, and then make it back to the siphon draw area. I may have to postpone that one until tomorrow, but we'll see. So I'm going to load this stuff up and put my camera back away, get my walking stick out so we can move with a little bit more, better pace, and go from there. Okay. Gear's packed up, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put the Pocket 3 away. This looks a little steeper, at least till I get down off this little ridge. And so I want to make sure I have my attention focused on my hiking and staying stable with the camera bag on the way down. It could be wrong. Sometimes looks are deceiving, but it looks fairly steep, switchbacky. So I'm going to put you away too, and we'll dig you back out and give you an update once I get off this ridge. Okay, I couldn't help it. I'm not all the way down off this ridge, but I came down from, I crossed to the camera right of that big obstacle, came down, and then worked my way down this little slick rock. And there's this tree, this green tree sitting over here, and it's backdrop of this big cliff wall here. And I can sort of isolate it from the others. I mean, it looks a little scrubby if you look at all of them, but this one little one can be isolated. So I'm playing with a little composition here. 24 to 120. I'm lying and I'm shooting manual here, mainly because there's wind. Leaves are blowing in it, so I need to make sure that shutter speed gets high enough. I just put it in manual mode for that. I'm not planning on staying here a whole long time. What is this, like the 5th time I've said I need to get back so I can rest up for this afternoon's hike. But hey, I'm enjoying it, having a good time. This caught my eye, so I'm going to work this shot real quick, and we'll see what we get, and then load up, head down, and we'll check in when I get. I know I've said I'd check in when I get, but somewhere, actually I can see the people that passed me a little while ago down in this little ravine right there. So I got to get all the way down from here down to there. But I think I'm through the tricky part. I can move pretty quick when I'm not carrying video cameras in hand. So yeah, photo of this, check in when I get to some flatter ground. Okay, a little more iPhone footage here. I'm pretty much down off the tricky part, just on this single track trail. Heading down until we get to the main plane. Not gonna be much more shade. There's not gonna be a whole lot of photography, I don't think, from here. I was able to catch some cool stuff up that direction because it was in the shade. That tree, I think that bush against that rock should hopefully be pretty cool. But this is why you come out and go ahead and take different paths. There's this nice little ridge line of rocks right here, and they look really cool. And I've seen them when I'm all the way over there, which is where I normally am when I'm here. But this is nice and close. This trail is nice and close. And those with some clouds, like monsoons, like when I was here in the monsoon season, that could be pretty sweet. Get set up like right along here. It's a nice little pinnacle thing right there. Really cool. So again, this is why you get out and go walk around. You can just randomly stumble upon something to photograph, or you can go out and hike and get a feel for the land. And if you only visit a place once, I feel like this is drifting back to why you should revisit. But if you only revisit a place once, you feel so much pressure and you only shoot the big stuff. If you get out there and you know you can make repeated trips and come around and learn the area, take some trails that you haven't normally done, you can see new things. And while I'm not going to take a picture of this today, I can catalog it in the back of my head for if there's ever some nice clouds over there. Maybe even a sunrise with some clouds would be pretty sweet. So yeah, just that's why you got to get out. So I'm going to move on down the trail, find a clearing, and I'm going to swap some water around and continue to make the hike out. Okay, so made it back to the vehicle, just getting a little bit of more water, some goldfish, and yeah, getting all settled back in. It was a great hike. I think it ended up being, I didn't start the GPS when I took off initially because I thought I was going to do a short hike, and I only started it when I turned off of a trail I'd been on before. I'm guessing just under 6 miles, close to 6 miles. I was out there for quite a while, 5 hours, so it wasn't like I was hiking the whole time. There's a lot of stopping, taking pictures, you know, a couple snacks along the way. But yeah, so that was a morning out in the desert. The trip, it didn't exactly go as planned as I expected. I was planning on going out, doing a short hike this morning, and then sort of warming up for a longer hike this afternoon. But since I spent so much time out there today, I'm going to rest up. I'll probably head out, get some sunset pictures. And then I think what I'll do is tomorrow, I'll aim to do the bigger hike I was thinking, and I'll make sure to do a shorter hike in the morning. Anyways, I got a few pictures, try to get some small scenes, got some semi-interesting things, I think. Not all trips go exactly as planned. And you know, this was a little bit of an example of one, but it's great to get out there. I scouted some things out, saw some new places, put some new waypoints in my GPS app, and that's it. So yeah, that wraps up this video. I'll hopefully be recording some more from out here in Arizona. And if you liked what you saw today, be sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see future landscape photography content from me, including tips, tricks, behind the scenes, mini gear reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And don't forget, let me know what you think about vlogging. This video is going to be a little more vlog style than it is anything else. So just let me know down in the comments. Do you like it? Not like it? Still working on improving that. This would be probably about my third, maybe fourth vlog type video. Yeah.